Okay, so here's the thing. Wim Hof's breathing technique is the one which works for me every time I want to get into a meditative state. And anyone can argue that a good breathwork session does make you feel relaxed, be it box breathing, holotropic breathing, or just plain old Anulom Vilom. And I don't care what age you are, it is so simple and the return on your investment is too damn high. But what the hell is meditation, and how do we know we're not fooling ourselves sitting like an idiot fighting thoughts after thoughts, or we really are in this altered state of mind? With that being said, this is my understanding of meditation, how I deal with thoughts, what it feels like to get into a meditative state, and how I get into it. I see meditation as this activity or an activity where I want my mind to not mind business with my mind for some time. It's like entering a mental state where I'm not a part of my thoughts or feelings, but I am their governor. A governor who is aware of the presence of those thoughts or feelings, but is not entertaining them or expending any energy by being in them. It's like looking at them from 50 feet high and just being okay. Yeah, I see you thought. And they're probably so random. It's like, did I turn off the lights? What am I going to tell him about the presentation I fucked up in? I could have negotiated more. And it could be a whole train of one single thought or just crazy randomness where your mind is all over the place. But looking at them from afar and not falling for them is what we want to achieve. And if you find yourself lost, strike back, remember why you sat down and started the whole thing. And again, it's about seeing or observing those thoughts from afar and their existence and not being a part of them. So, to metaphorically understand this, I see thoughts as clouds passing by, and I'm just a random guy who is looking at those clouds. So, picture something like this. When we are overthinking or in our head, we are, according to this metaphor, inside of those clouds. That is, we're part of that cloud. But what we want to achieve, make out of this session is be aware of the isness of the cloud and see it from afar as they pass by. One thought is one cloud passing by, if that makes sense. Let's get down to what it feels like to be in a state like this. When done correctly, I have seen myself fall into states where I have no thoughts at all for quite a long time. And instead, I have those weird Windows Media Player kind of visualizations where I'm just constantly entering or trying to enter an indigo colored region. And it's going to differ for everyone, obviously, but this is what feels like for me when I've my eyes closed, and this is what I see. On a physical level, I experience my ears make a hissing sound, something like that when a pressure cooker goes off, like a and it slowly fades away. I know it's weird, but this is what happens. Along with this, I experience REM or rapid eye movement, basically mimicking a stage of deep sleep where one is not dreaming but still is in a deep state of rest where the brain waves are really, really slow, or the frequency of those brain waves is on the lower side. I mean, you must have seen someone sleeping, but their eyeballs are almost dancing left to right. So it's that kind of stage. But the beauty of REM, experienced in a meditative or a breathing state, is that you get to experience something like that on a physical level and be awake and just literally, like, it's happening to you. You witness something like that. By the way, you don't want to wake up someone if they're in REM. It's bad. Apart from the eye movement part, on a bodily level, I experience a subtle lightness in the whole body. It's as if all the muscles and tissues went from a very contracted state to a very relaxed, or I would say unclenched state. And you unclench your arms, everything in your body just goes from a contracted to a very relaxed state, and you can literally feel yourself, your neck, and everything like getting to kind of a rested state. And it feels good. It just feels amazing to be there. You really experience the calm and the peace that you always longed. And I definitely encourage you guys to go ahead and do it for yourself. It's fairly simple. So I do it using a breathwork, and this is how I do it. I use the Wim Hof breathing method, which is like a remix version of Bhastrika Pranayam and Bhaya Kumbhaka Pranayam. It's simply just breathing into your belly for 30 times or so, and then just holding your breath after exhaling on your 30th breath. Again, holding your breath in an exhaled state is simply Bhaya Kumbhaka, and breathing deeply without pausing between inhales and exhales is Bhastrika Pranayam. So I lay down in my bed or sit upright on the ground in a cross-legged position with hands on your thighs and start breathing. The one thing that you need to keep in mind is that the breathing should be done through the belly or the diaphragm and not the chest. This means that the chest and the shoulders shouldn't rise up so much, but the belly should. Also, when breathing, remember to take deepest breaths possible and try not to pause between the inhalation and the exhalation. So it should sound something like this, and not like this. And after the 30th exhale, I hold my breath, and this is the crazy part. Ready? If you do this, you'll be able to hold your breath for insanely long period of times. I mean, I'm not even kidding when I say this, but my personal record for holding breath this way in an exhaled state is 3 minutes and 4 seconds. 3 minutes. This is insane. And I started almost with 1.5 minutes, and gradually it kind of built up to 3 minutes. When I can no longer hold my breath, I take a deep breath in again and hold for another 10-15 seconds. And that's one round of Wim Hof. Let me summarize it for you. Breathing 30 times really deep using your belly, then holding your breath in an exhaled state, in this state, and then taking a deep breath again and holding it for 10 to 15 seconds. And in the first round itself, you'll see that you have dramatically changed the physics or the chemistry of your body. It's super amazing. I just do 2 to 3 rounds, and in 2 rounds I'm kind of done. And after that, I return to my normal breathing pattern and then automatically drop into deep meditative states where I see those Windows Media Player kind of visualizations, and it's crazy. And this is how I use breathwork to meditate. Now, YouTube is filled with this guided breathwork. Just search for Wim Hof guided breathing and follow the audio experience. Pro tip, turn off the autoplay videos in your YouTube. So after the guided session, you're not fiddling with your phone. I just want that after the whole session, it's a 15-minute long video. Sometimes it's an 11-minute long video. It depends on how many rounds you want to do. Just after the end of the audio, and by the way, use earphones. After the end of the audio, don't fiddle with your phone. Just take the earphones off and just keep lying down or sit, whatever you prefer. And that's how I do it. And you should definitely try it. I'll link down the video that I use. Usually, after a 15-minute long session of the breathwork, I tend to lie down for a while, and sometimes it has turned out that I have been lying in my bed for about 40 minutes. It's usually as if I thought that very less time would have passed, but a lot of time has passed, which is like a good precursor telling you that, yeah, you did the meditation. Otherwise, if you sit down and you try to meditate, 2 minutes will feel like an hour. Okay, let's wrap this one up. In the future episodes, I'm thinking of talking about our polyvagal ladder, also about a book that I've been obsessing about lately, which is a transcript of one of Osho's talk. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Osho, and the talk is Compassion and Revolution. So interesting stuff lined up. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon.